You better work, bitch. You better work, bitch. You better work, bitch.
Yes. It is the most famous smile in the history of pop music. A smile that launched 1,000 magazine covers, sold over 100 million records, and defined the turn of the millennium. But by 2007, that smile had vanished, replaced by the look of a woman who was being hunted in broad daylight. We like to think we know the story of Britney Spears, the Mickey Mouse Club girl who became a global icon, only to fall under the weight of her own fame. But the truth is far more complex than a tabloid headline. It's a story of a multi-billion-dollar industry that refused to let its biggest asset grow up, and a media machine that turned a human being into a blood sport. Today, we're going beyond the shaved head photos and the Free Britney hashtags.
Free Britney, we know you hit her.
We are looking at the architectural rise, the systematic breakdown, and the forced comeback of the century.
It's Britney Spears!
This is the life, the work, and the incredible struggles of Britney Spears.
To understand why 2007 was such a shock to the system, you have to understand just how untouchable Britney Spears was at the start of the decade. When Baby One More Time debuted in late 1998, it didn't just top the charts, it obliterated the grunge era and ushered in a new age of teen pop. Britney wasn't just a singer, she was a meticulously crafted brand.
Hit me, baby, one more time. Oh, baby, baby.
From the schoolgirl outfit to the red latex catsuit, she was the primary engine of the music industry. By the time she released Britney in 2001 and In the Zone in 2003, she was asserting her creative control. Songs like I'm a Slave for You and
Name a name. I'm a slave.
Toxic proved she was an innovator, blending electronic, hip-hop, and pop in ways no one else was doing. She was a workhorse. Performing through injuries and maintaining a grueling schedule that would break most veteran artists. But while she was building an empire, the foundations were already beginning to crack. The public's obsession with her relationship with Justin Timberlake, and the subsequent media villainization of her after their breakup, was the first sign that the world viewed Britney's private life as public property. If 1999 was the year of the rise, 2007 was the year of the fall.
No, don't worry.
Swear to God.
Okay.
It began with the end of her marriage to Kevin Federline, a period that saw the paparazzi's behavior shift from annoying to predatory. At one point, there were an estimated 50 to 100 photographers following her car at all times. They weren't just looking for a photo, they were looking for a reaction. In February 2007, the world stopped when Britney walked into a salon in Tarzana and shaved her own head. To the tabloids, it was a meltdown. To those looking closer, it was a woman reclaiming her image from a world that was trying to own it. This was followed by the infamous umbrella incident, a moment of pure human frustration that was instantly turned into a meme before memes even existed. But amidst this chaos, something strange happened. She recorded Blackout. Often cited by critics as her best work, Blackout was recorded while her life was in shambles. It was dark, avant-garde, and defiant. Yet, her performance of Gimme More at the VMAs that year was treated as a joke by a media that seemed to be rooting for her demise. In early 2008, following two involuntary psychiatric holds, Britney was placed under a temporary conservatorship led by her father, Jamie Spears. This is where the story takes its most chilling turn. To the public, it looked like a success story. By the end of the year, the courts had become involved, and the stage was set for a legal move that would change her life forever. Within months, Britney was back. She released the Circus album, filmed a documentary, and embarked on a massive world tour. She looked healthy, she was dancing again, and she was winning awards. But the rise of 2009 was a hollow one. Behind the scenes, she was a woman with no rights. She couldn't drive her own car, she couldn't see her friends without approval, and she was forced to perform even when she didn't want to. For over a decade, she was a high-functioning conservatee, earning hundreds of millions of dollars for a system that told her she wasn't competent enough to buy her own coffee. This era of her career, from circus to femme fatale, represents a haunting paradox. The more she succeeded professionally, the more she was being erased personally.
But mama, I'm in love with a criminal.
While the world saw a polished circus and the neon-soaked femme fatale and the Britney Jean from 2013, a more personal R&B influenced album, including the fierce club anthem, Work Bitch, and the emotional, atmospheric track, Alien. The real Britney was beginning to flicker back to life in 2016 with the release of Glory. This album is a crucial, often overlooked chapter in her story. For the first time in years, Britney was heavily involved in the A&R process. She was selecting tracks, vocal producing herself, and experimenting with a more soulful, relaxed sound that moved away from the heavy auto-tune of her previous few albums. If you listen closely to tracks like Invitation or Man on the Moon, you don't hear a puppet, you hear an artist searching for her voice within a cage. Fans didn't realize it then, but Glory was a quiet rebellion. It was her trying to find joy in the one thing that had always been hers, the music, even while her autonomy was being stripped away in every other facet of her life. It's a hauntingly beautiful record. When viewed through the lens of what we know now, it was a woman proving to herself that she still had something to say, even if she had to whisper it.
Waiting for my man on the move.
Beyond the drama, we have to acknowledge the technical legacy Britney Spears left on the industry. She wasn't just a performer, she was a sonic pioneer. Working with producers like Max Martin, the Neptunes, and Bloodshy and Avant, Britney helped create the Swedish pop sound that dominates the charts today. Her vocal fry, her rhythmic breathing techniques, and the way she layered her own harmonies, became the blueprint for the next 2 decades of pop. From Selena Gomez to Billie Eilish, you can hear echoes of Britney's In the Zone era in almost every modern production. She understood the power of a hook better than anyone, and her ability to transform her voice into an instrument, sometimes breathy, sometimes robotic, always distinct, is why her music doesn't age. She didn't just follow trends, she was the architect of the sound of the 21st century. The silence was finally broken in June 2021. Britney's 24-minute testimony in open court didn't just shock her fans, it shocked the world. Hearing the Princess of Pop describe her life as abusive and traumatizing was the final nail in the coffin for the conservatorship. The Pound Free Britney movement, once dismissed as a conspiracy theory, was vindicated. When the conservatorship was officially terminated in November 2021, it wasn't just a legal victory, it was a cultural reckoning. It forced us to look back at how we treated young women in the 2000s, from Amy Winehouse to Lindsay Lohan, and ask ourselves how we let this happen. Finally, we must look at the doors Britney has opened for others. Her fight wasn't just about her own freedom, it ignited a global conversation about disability rights, and the potential for abuse within the probate court system. Because of Britney, the Britney Act was introduced in California, aiming to give conservatees more rights and transparency. She turned a private tragedy into a public catalyst for change. As she navigates her life post-2021, the world is still watching, but hopefully with more empathy this time. She isn't just the Princess of Pop anymore. She is the woman who challenged a multi-billion-dollar system and won. Her story is a stark reminder that even the most powerful icons can be vulnerable, and that the greatest rise isn't about record sales, it's about the reclamation of the self. Britney Spears is no longer just a pop star. She is a symbol of survival. She is a woman who went through the fire of the 2007 scandals and came out the other side, finally holding the keys to her own life. Britney Spears' story is a reminder that fame has a price, but resilience has a reward. Her discography remains a cornerstone of pop culture, but her strength is her true legacy. If you found this deep dive into Britney's journey insightful, please hit that like button. It helps us continue to create these long-form biographies. We want to hear from you. Which album from Britney's career is your favorite? Is it the classic, Baby One More Time, or the experimental, Blackout? Let us know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Music and Cinema, Rise and Fall. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a story of the icons who shaped our world. Thank you for watching.
You better walk this.